Welcome to the Operations Manager Workshop. My name is Bev Underwood, Customer Success Manager at Skillable. I am excited to announce that the topic for today's workshop is instruction sets in the TMS. On today's agenda, we will take a look at platform updates, our new feature, instruction sets, upcoming events, and connecting with us to stay informed and up to date on all the latest releases. We've not done a platform update for TMS release video for a while, and that's not saying that we've not done any releases. We have done a lot, but we haven't done a video. So I'm going to share with you some of the key features we've released over the summer and what we've got coming. The one we've all been waiting for, TMS self-service layout and themes. This was released in July 2023. If you've got a customized TMS site or have always wanted one but never had the opportunity or time to submit a ticket for work, now you don't have to. You can do it with a simple change to your permissions in the TMS. This is a fantastic enhancement and just another way that we are trying to aid you in making the platform look and feel like your product. With the permissions, you can easily upload a logo or favorite icon. You can change the default landing page for users, add text to the login page, and much more. I would highly suggest you check out the release notes to learn more. And by the way, if you want to do this today, get in touch with your account executive or customer success manager, and they'll be able to help. Another incredible feature that we've added is user imports with bulk updates to user profiles. Now, this one was released in multiple stages and done as a type of add-on on the main feature. You can now automatically assign subscription training keys to a user when importing from the CSV import element. With this feature, you'll save time and effort, especially if you're manually creating accounts and you're manually adding subscriptions to that account. We've gone a step further and simplified the process by creating a template for bulk user profile edits, and we finally included a header to make it easier to identify and locate specific features you need and update user profiles in bulk. One feature we've not yet released, but we are working extremely aggressive on, is the new addition to the API. The new API call will allow you to retrieve activity results from a lab launched in Studio. This call will help you track student progress and ensure that you've got all the necessary data needed. While this isn't released yet, keep an eye out for it, especially if you are an avid API user and you call upon the API often. So jumping right in, I am very excited to announce that instruction sets is readily available in Skillable TMS. This feature does require setup on Skillable Studio, and it is recommended that you check out the release notes and documentation on how to create instruction sets in Studio. We will go over it, but not in great detail, so definitely check out, as mentioned, release notes and documentation. So, instruction sets, what are they and how are they a powerful feature? Well, instruction sets are a new feature that takes lab development to a whole new level by enabling developers to create a single lab and access, which then can allow you to select instructions from multiple instruction sets. So as mentioned, it's a single lab with multiple instruction sets. Previously, Studio only had a one-to-one relationship between lab and instructions. What that did was limited the flexibility and customization options for a lab developer. However, with the new introduction of the instruction sets feature, lab developers can now create a single lab that can access any selected set of instructions for multiple sets, allowing them to cater to different difficult level, language, or content. So what are some of the key benefits for implementing this feature? Well, it provides greater flexibility for TMS course creators to select from a wide range of instruction sets when adding lab activities to the course. Easily select process, so a simple drop-down menu will appear on the course lab activities, displaying a list of instruction sets to choose from. There is the default option available, so if no instruction sets is chosen, then the lab default instruction sets in Studio will be used. And it streamlines the development process. Overall, the Skillable Studio instruction sets is a powerful feature that can streamline that development process and elevate the overall quality of the learning experience. Let's jump in and take a look. Okay, so jumping right in, as you can see, we are on the course page in the TMS. As you can see, I've built a course monitor server by using Windows Server Monitoring Tool, and I've put English there at the end, and I have one activity, it's one lab. For this demo, we're going to just look at how do we change the language, or how can I offer my course in multiple languages. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is you want on your instructions page, on your lab profile in Studio, on the top, you're going to want to make sure that you have created if you're offering it in just English and Spanish and no different levels, then you just want to make sure you've got an English and Spanish. And how you do that is manage your instruction sets. As you can see, I have a beginner here, my English and Spanish. Let's just say I want to add a secondary or third language. I hit new instruction sets and I'm going to clone from beginning in English. And all I'm going to do is you can create a different language that you want. You just, from the drop-down menu, select the one that you want to have. Once you've done that, I'm going to do, let's say, German for here, and I'm going to hit OK. Once that is done, your lab can now be launched and creating courses in different languages. So going back to my course assignment, so I've assigned this to a student and you can see I have it in English. So when I actually launch the lab, you can see all of the content starts in English. The lab will launch up and it will continue in English as set. Now that my lab has been launched, we can see that everything is showing in English. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this lab. And now let's say I want to give this student this same lab, but I want to offer it in Spanish. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my course as the operations manager. The quick and easy way to duplicate a course is by hitting edit and then doing a save as. Here you're going to just change the name. I'm going to put ESP for Spanish because I'm going to offer it in Spanish, and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to make sure that my short name is also changed. And the next part is where it's going to be the option for me to create this in Spanish. So I go to my activities, and now you can see from your activities, you have an instruction set. Here you're going to find a drop down. Now, if you remember back on my instructions page, I had beginner and intermediate, and I offered them in Spanish and English. So since this is my beginner course, I'm going to offer this one in Spanish. So I'm going to drop down and I'm going to put it in Spanish. Once this is done, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And I'm going to jump back to my student. And you can see I have a student ESP, so I've got it in Spanish. I'm going to now launch the lab. As the lab is launching, you'll instantly notice that it is showing in Spanish. So now that the lab has launched, you will notice that things changed into Spanish. The instructions, resource and help tab down at the bottom, we can see here it has changed to Spanish, and also from my drop down menu here. So this is really good if you want to create these in different languages. Now let's take a look at if you want to build out your instruction sets and use the same lab profile to offer maybe intermediate or advanced or even guided. How do you do that with your instructions? So jumping back on the course, you can see that this is in Spanish. You've seen what it looks like when the lab launches and it changes it into Spanish. So now let's say you want to offer this course and you want to offer it in different levels. So advanced, guided, approached. It is up to you how you do it, but I'm going to show you that is another way that you can use instruction sets. So again, the instruction sets need to be set on your lab profile on the edit the instructions. You can see right now I'm on the beginner, and on the beginner I've got these hints. So my learners can drop down and they can get a little bit more, how do you do things? I'm going to keep the same content almost, but make some changes. So I'm going to drop to my intermediate and I'm just going to go to English. And now you can see I don't have any hints. I've taken those hints out so that learners are now asked to do things without given prompts on how to do it. The same setup is applied when you create your course in the TMS. So jumping right back into our course. And as you can see, I do have my course up here in Spanish. We're going to use this. We'll use INT because now I'm going to deliver this in English and I'm going to deliver it in intermediate. And from my activities, again, the instruction sets is going to drop and I'm going to put intermediate, and I have the option for Spanish and English, but I'm still going to stick with my English, making sure everything is what I want it to be. I'm going to hit save. So now I have gone ahead and I have created a course. I have two courses, one that is monitor a server by using Windows Server Monitoring Tool in English as a beginner. I also have that same course in English in intermediate. Those are two ways that you can utilize and really bring your instruction sets to life and how you can integrate them into the TMS. As mentioned, there are multiple different ways of doing this. The one number thing that we recommend is ensuring that you have this set up on Studio in the lab profile. If you don't have that set up, it's not going to follow suit. If you do decide to do this and you also want to create this using just the standard default, when you are creating your course on the activities page, you can just leave it as default and the default will set. If you don't use instruction sets and you do see this option and you don't have them set up, default will only show and you can just leave it as is. But those are two really good ways to use instruction sets and how you can integrate them using the TMS. Join Paul Gregory, Solutions Engineer, at our next Lab Developer Workshop on Thursday, September the 28th. He will be delivering two sessions, focusing on topics in Skillable Studio. So if you can't make the first one, hopefully you can make the second one. If not, you will get a recording if you do sign up. In this exciting workshop, you'll get the opportunity for a hands-on experience while learning something new. And I highly recommend you keep an eye out for the topic and sign up at skillable.com/workshop. You can connect with us on social media. You'll stay in the know as we release new features, delve into topics with industry leaders, and learn more about Skillable and the value of skills validation. Most importantly, the one I always like to point out, if you've got any feedback on any features, feel like we're missing something, or simply want to enhance a feature that we've released, please visit feedback.skillable.com to add your recommendations to our team. And finally, thank you for watching.